Hey there, Knicks fans. We are so excited to announce that Fanatics Fest is back in New York City this summer, taking over the Jacob Javits Center from Thursday, July 16th to Sunday, July 19th. You can meet your favorite athletes from every major league, including current Knicks like Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and Karl Anthony Towns, and the legend, my guy, Patrick Ewing. Catch live podcasts and panels featuring some of the biggest names in sports, while experiencing interactive activations from top leagues and brands. You could also grab exclusive merch and discover one-of-a-kind memorabilia from sports and entertainment, buy, sell, and trade collectibles with hundreds of top dealers, and best of all, connect with fans from around the world who share your passion for sports. Tickets are on sale now at fanaticsfest.com, and when you use that promo code KnicksFilm10 at checkout, you will get 10% off your purchase. How about that? It's an extra day of the world's #1 sports fan festival coming together under one roof, and you will not want to miss it. All right. Welcome to the Knicks Film School Postgame Show presented by Fanatics Sportsbook, where we've done it. 80 years of NBA basketball, 79 years of NBA basketball, and we have officially answered the question, what is the least inspiring 16-point win in the history of the league? We saw it tonight against this absolute dog shit Sacramento Kings team. That stinks so much. Here's how much they stink. This was actually the second least or second fewest points the Knicks gave up to an opponent this year. More than only the 66 points scored by the equally, or not quite as shitty, but also shitty Brooklyn Nets the other night. And I guarantee you there was not a person watching this game during it or certainly after it who is going to come away from that one being like, man, what an inspiring defensive effort by the Knicks. I wish I could sit here and sell that shit. I can't. I was a lawyer, personal injury lawyer for 3 years. I sold a lot of bullshit over that time. Even I'm not good enough to sell that one. I mean, they defended fine, but that's obviously not the story of the game. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a step back. Let's start with some positives. Can we do that? Are we allowed to start with some positives? Because I know how this one's going to go. So I'm going to start off with some positives. And the first positive that I'm going to start off with, and it feels like I'm going to be a broken record here because it over the last month in particular, but it's funny. Talk about a throwback to when I first started doing this. First year of the podcast, there was one guy on a lot of nights that I had to talk about in a positive way when this team was absolute dog shit, like this Kings team that they just beat. And it was Mitchell Robinson. And here we are, whatever it is, 8 years later. And it feels like for the last month, there's been a lot of nights where the only positive that, or the most resounding positive and close to the only positive that I have to talk about is Mitchell Robinson. Played 27 minutes tonight. That is probably the most important stat that we could see. Speaking of things that we will see, whether or not Mitchell Robinson plays tomorrow night against the Toronto Raptors, I am afraid of what would happen against that team in particular. I know they don't play a traditional center with Poeltl out, but still, I'm afraid of any game right now the Knicks play without Mitchell Robinson healthy and active. So 27 minutes for Mitch. A plus 25 in those 27 minutes, and there's not a blessed thing about that plus minus figure that is a misnomer. He might be playing the best basketball of his career, which is and maybe it just looks like the best basketball of his career because so often he is, again, over this last month in particular, he is up against just some really uninspiring play and players around him. But whatever it is, I don't know. Maybe Mitchell Robinson just really doesn't want to get traded. Maybe he heard some of the noise out there and, uncertain contract situation, this and that. And he's like, no, man, my monster truck is not going to be unique in a bunch of other cities across this great nation of ours. In New York, that shit stands out. And maybe he just wants to keep being the biggest truck in, a big pond, but not when it comes to motor vehicles. So whatever it is, Mitchell Robinson, and the thing that was so stark tonight, more than even usual, is, and give credit to Clyde, said it a couple of times, that this one had the ambiance of a preseason game. It reminded me of when, not to invoke the name of a guy that a lot of Knicks fans I know hate, but I always respected. It reminded me of when, Alonzo Mourning used to be in an all-star game and used to check in, and everybody's kind of, going through the motions to start the game, and then Alonzo Mourning checks in. It's like it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. That's what it felt like tonight when Mitch checked in the game, and really every time Mitchell Robinson was in the game. 13 rebounds, 6 on the offensive glass. Again, in 27 minutes. It's not even an abnormal stat line for Mitch anymore. 6 offensive rebounds in 27 minutes. That's par for the course, man. I mean, where the team would be without him. And he wasn't the only one. It was the bench generally. Like this thing they have going on with Landry Shamet and Deuce McBride, those 3 guys in particular. And it is a collective energy. Obviously, McBride struggling right now from 3. I'm not going to hold that against him. I thought, Shamet comes in and does all the usual things. Hey, if you're counting on Landry Shamet to be a really good 8th man, he's got you, because that's what he is, and that's what he's being called on for right now. So thank goodness for the bench. I should note Deuce plus 20, Shamet only a plus 1. But again, you feel his energy out there. And then the other guy I'm going to give a shout out to, obviously, is Jalen Brunson, who after, 42, 43 minutes, whatever it was, of mostly unserious basketball, by and large, Jalen Brunson comes in and says, enough of this nonsense. And he just sends everybody home for a nice, peaceful evening. No stress down the stretch. None of that stuff. This was him closing out this game in the last 5 minutes. That was child's play. That reminded me of like the Matt Damon scene in Good Will Hunting, where he's with all the other mathematicians in the office. And he's like, you have no fucking clue how easy this shit is for me. This is nothing. This is like whatever he said, kindergarten work for me. That was what it was like watching Jalen Brunson in the last 5 minutes of that basketball game. Kings could do nothing with him. And I almost wondered, and this is going to kind of transition to, and look, actually, before I transition, credit to the Knicks. It's 3 wins in a row. I've said it, perhaps to my detriment at times this year. My rule of thumb: don't take any win for granted, even ones that were as uninspiring at times as this one. It's 3 wins in a row. I had on my one of my other screens tonight a game featuring the Portland Trailblazers, another team whose players are coming up in trade rumors nowadays, lose a game to the Washington Wizards, who, in case you missed it, are not trying to win basketball games, much like this Kings team. So like it's the time of year you really don't take any win for granted against any opponent. And it's also the time of year, and I will say this, and I tweeted something out to this effect a little while ago, you do have to acknowledge that if you have players on your team who know that they are being discussed in trade, like everybody reacts to that stuff differently. And I think, and does that have something to do with what we witnessed tonight? Maybe a little bit. It's not an excuse though. And now that's going to send me back to what I was going to say before, which is, you watch Jalen Brunson do, like, very calmly command the offense. And again, it's not like it's all iso ball. It's not like Jalen Brunson was taking every shot. It was, hey man, if you're going to cover me one-on-one, I'm going to take the shot because that's the best look my team is going to get, which is not an offense, to be clear, that you could run for 48 minutes or even for 36 minutes or whatever. It's a crunch time offense. But when the pass was there to be made, he made the pass, which is why you got other guys getting great looks during the stretch. But it was such a simple offense. There was nothing complicated about it. It's all right. You come up, set a screen, you go over here. It's like Jalen Brunson running the show like we've seen him do 100 times before. And I almost wondered whether it was going through his mind, like, man, can't we just do this? Can't we just do this? Like, I get it. Like, everything this year was supposed to make life easier for me and yada, 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 and get everybody involved. Like, man, I'll make sure guys get their shots. I'll make sure everybody eats. Can't we just do this? But of course, that's not what they're doing most of the time, which unfortunately leads to the conversation that we have to lead the show with, which is that we are at the point. At the point. That's funny. We are at the point. We are like the point is so far in the rear view mirror. It's like if we were driving cross country, it's like we would be entering, Lake Tahoe, and the point, it would be back on the Mississippi River. The point at which we have more than enough information and data to know that this starting five ain't it. Just fully 100%. It is just not going to happen with these five players. We've seen little spurts when after they switch back to the Hart starting lineup, after Mike Brown started the year with Mitch, it was good for a while. And actually for like 4 or 5 games, whatever it was, maybe a little bit more than 4, but it was like a handful of games. It was not more than a handful of games. That starting lineup had a crazy good net rating, and they were playing well. They were hitting shots, the ball was moving, flying around. They were feeling good about themselves. And as I'm thinking about how I want to, discuss this tonight, there is a part of me that is cognizant of something that Benji Ritholtz has been saying very wisely in his grade book. Shout out to the Knicks Film School Patreon. Killer today, Benji, or yesterday, I should say. And also on Twitter a little bit, which is that it's not that we think that bad chemistry causes poor play, and oftentimes it's the other way around. Is when things are not going great and when you're not hitting shots, like that's when the chemistry can get bad. And so there is a part of me that wants to choose my words a little bit carefully here and not be, and not bang the gavel and say we are way past the point with this starting five where we know it's just not it, because it's not like we have not seen it work at times. So, and in theory, if you look at the skill sets of these players, and I know there are people out there who will swear up and down that there is no argument that this starting five or it will ever work better than if you slot a player like Deuce in, either for Josh Hart because he has a quicker trigger and a better three, or for Mikal Bridges because he is a better point of attack guy, and you get a little bit more energy, a little bit more verve, a little bit more physicality. At this point, I don't even know which is the Knicks Twitter preferred fantasy starting five. I'm guessing it's still, it's still Deuce in place of Hart, but maybe it's Deuce in place of Mikal. In any case, through this does not include tonight. Through 168 minutes this season, 18 games. So again, this is not including tonight. The starting five is a plus 3.4. That's crap for a starting five that makes this much money and has had this much experience together because they played together all last year. It's crap. And if you go back and you sort it out from the starting five with last year, it was also a ton of minutes, and the overall number that you're going to see is going to be not terrible. It's actually, excuse me, it is terrible. It's plus 3.3 again, plus 3.3 last year, plus 3.4 this year, and actually it's similar because last year started off good, then went down a cliff. This year started off good and now has gone down a cliff. But even last year, if you go last year and you sort it from January 1st onwards, they were, I think, barely even. I'm literally pulling it up right now. I want to say they were about even. And then in the playoffs, they were getting outscored by like 10 points per 100 possessions. So, you've now hired a new coach who has instituted a new offensive system in theory, although it's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, minus 1.4 per 100 over 380 minutes after January 1st last season. So again, we are so far past the point, it is staggering. And look, what is the reason for it? Again, there are very smart people out there, people who are much better than me when it comes to looking at, this guy's, not moving over here, or this defender's not guarding, Josh Hart in the way, and the lane's not open for Towns, and, the spacing's not what it should be, and all this stuff. I refuse, and I will continue to refuse to accept the fact that the reasons that this particular 5-man unit is dog shit are purely based in basketball. I'm not saying that they are not real basketball reasons for why it does not work as well as you would think it should. But when you go out there and we as fans have to watch this group go out there and consistently play without any semblance of energy or pop, like, what does that tell you? And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to, I've made a lot of proclamations already this year that I probably shouldn't have made. I who the hell knows at this point who likes who and this, that, and the other thing. But I know that 5, if you're going out there and again, that 5-man unit tonight, shout out to Pivot Fade, got outscored 38-34 again by this awful Kings team that has, I don't even know how many road wins do the Kings have this year? 3, 4, whatever it is. A negative 12.1 net rating. Meanwhile, the second most used lineup. This is, you have to laugh at this. So the starting lineup in 16 minutes, outscored by 4 points, negative 12.1 net rating. The second most used lineup tonight, which was Brunson, Bridges, Robinson, Anunoby, and McBride. So, or AKA the actual best 5-man unit the Knicks have to offer right now, outscored the Kings 24-11. That's a positive 86.8 net rating. So, and then the third most used lineup was Bridges, Towns, Robinson, Hart, McBride. Outscored the Kings 14-8. Again, tiny sample size, plus 50 net rating. You get the point, which is why I'm not coming out here and killing any one guy for the faults of this starting 5. I'm not going to be like, this is a Cat problem specifically. And you know why I'm not going to sit here and say it's a Cat problem specifically? I'll give myself a little pat on the back. For today's Knicks Film School newsletter, I wrote about how Wingstop, this thing that the Knicks front office put together, and I'm not going to blame them for this either because I certainly didn't see this coming. But this grouping of these 3 wings, when they are all on the floor together, they stink. Last year, Hart, Bridges, and Anunoby, when they shared the court for 3,461 possessions. That's an insane number of possessions. They outscored teams by 1.9 points per 100. That's nothing. That's a barely better than 500 team. That's a net rating of like a slightly better than 500 team. In the playoffs, they were outscored by 9.2 points per 100 possessions in 856 possessions. And now this season, when all 3 are on the court, it's plus 4.8 going into tonight of 537 possessions. So again, that's not talking about whether Brunson's on the court, whether Cat's on the court, whether Mitchell, none of that stuff. It has never, those 3 guys together, never added up to something where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to bench someone? I mean, they've already look. We started the year with Hart benched. Last year, Hart went to the bench. Like we're going to go back to that well again. Okay, I don't think that's crazy. I think a lot of people would tell you maybe again, Mikal Bridges is the guy to send to the bench. Okay, you're gonna so his name's out there in trade rumors, and you're gonna try to get a team like Portland to try to give up real draft assets that they have of Milwaukee's that are currently pretty damn valuable. You're going to try to get them to give up those draft assets for a guy that you're sticking on the bench. You're not going to do that. You're just not going to do that. You want to stick OG Anunoby on the bench? Yeah. I mean, but again, for as little basketball sense as that makes, and he was atrocious tonight with the turnovers. Atrocious. You turn over the ball 7 times in a game, and you're not the point guard or one of the top or one of the most highest usage players. I mean, that's brutal. And I should say, by the way, I should have said this at the top. The Knicks officially survived their highest turnover game of the season. 21 turnovers. 18 attributed to various players. So that means there were 3 team turnovers. That is their highest number of the year. And I haven't got a chance to go back and look, but I imagine it's one of their highest of the Jalen Brunson era. So yeah, you're not putting OG Anunoby on the bench. And I'm sorry, $53 million man, he ain't coming off the bench. I know there's a lot of people at this point who are just so sick of the Cat experience, even though you look at his stat line tonight and you're like, what did he get? Where did he finish? Let's see here. 17 points on 15 shots. Okay. 11 rebounds. Hey, it's not that bad, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, we have eyes, unfortunately. Yeah, you're not sticking him on the bench. It's just, so it feels like either there's going to be a significant upsetting of the apple cart. They had 21 turnovers in one game last year. That awful Hornets game that was probably after Thanksgiving. That was their least inspiring win of last season. So they equaled that. Congratulations. Anyway, unless you're gonna really again the sort of thing where you're sending one of these again, sending Hart to the bench would not send shockwaves down. Although who the hell knows with this locker room? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know. I don't know what effect that would have. But so what's the alternative? The alternative is probably the reason you're hearing all the stuff that you're hearing, where you got a whole, there's a batch of reporters out there who are saying, Knicks haven't engaged in trade talks with regarding Karl Anthony Towns. And then you got other people whispering, are the Knicks keeping the door open on a Cat trade? And how much of this is dependent on Giannis? Are they only going to trade Cat in the Giannis trade? Jeremy floated the idea today for us here at Knicks Film School of is this a 2-step process where you try to complete step 1 and you ship Mikal Bridges off to Portland now for Holiday and the picks, and then you try to, to swing the trade for Giannis this summer? I think that would be playing a dangerous game. I think if you're going to do it, you do it. You do it all the way, or you stand your ground and you're going to say, no, we're not taking the, we're not taking the IOU. We're going to do it right now. But, one way or another, it's like we keep saying the same thing. They're trying to win a championship this year. Not next year. I mean, obviously they're going to try to win next year also, but this is the year. This is the year. You cannot tell me that you're going to go into the playoffs trying to beat teams like Detroit and Boston and hell, Cleveland, who, remember on Christmas when the starting 5 was down. What the hell were they down? 20-5? At the start of that Christmas game. You cannot tell me that this is you're putting your best foot forward. So what are you going to do about it? You got some real teams coming up here between now and the All-Star break, and you got a lot of them in a little span of time. So they've won 3 in a row. They've righted the ship a little bit, despite how they looked for much of this evening. And there is a path for them to reclaim, the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Right now, they're a game behind Boston. They're back tied with Toronto. That game is really it's a big game tomorrow. We could call it like it is. It's a big game. You got a little distance between yourself and the play-in, thank the good Lord. But like Cleveland's a game behind them. Cleveland has won 4 in a row. Like everybody's winning. Toronto's won 4 in a row. The Knicks obviously have won 3 in a row. Even the Miami Heat have won a couple games in a row. So you cannot afford, unless you want to start thinking about, oh, well, are we going to be comfortable going to the playoffs as a 4 seed, 5 seed, 6 seed? You got to figure this out. And the notion that this is just patience is going to win the day here. Just keep being patient. Keep being patient. It's a joke at this point. These guys are not going. This 5 does not have it. It is not where it is at. So I don't know how they solve the problem, but you know what step 1 is? I think I heard this somewhere. Step 1 is admitting you have a problem. So the sooner we do that, maybe the sooner we solve it. And we'll see where that leaves us. I should note also, by the way, that it's funny. I skirted past it, but it's another game where Cat is on the bench at the end. And apparently Chris Winfield asked Mike Brown about Cat being on the bench at the end. We had a group on the floor playing well, tight ball game, so I just rode that group till the end. We need to get the win. Yeah, I mean, the part that he didn't say is that Cat stunk tonight. What did $53 million get you tonight? It's like $53 million. It's like if you walk into McDonald's and you hand the cashier a 20 and they give you 3 chicken McNuggets, a small French fries, and a packet of mayonnaise. That's what you got tonight. And the mayonnaise is expired. It's just not good enough. And that's a whole, to me, that the Towns thing, it is almost a secondary issue at this point to me, because he needs to just be better. He just needs to be better. I'm sick and tired of this. We need, putting him in better positions and this and that. He stinks right now. He stinks. I don't know what else is there to say. He's not good. He hasn't been good for a while. He hasn't really been that good all year, barring a couple games here and there. He's missing bunnies, and when you have, Christ, the guy, Russell Westbrook, God bless him, wonderful career. He was trying to back up Russell Westbrook into the post like he's trying to back down fucking Hakeem Olajuwon and getting nowhere. Maxime Reynaud. If Maxime Reynaud walked into my basement right now, I'd be like, who the fuck are you? He's stopping Cat. Come on. This is not tenable. But that, again, what are you going to do about that? He's either going to get better or he's not, or he's going to be on another basketball team. So, all right. That's it. I've talked for long enough. Great win. Let's talk about our best bets. Presented by new graphic, by the way. Great, nice job, Andrew Claudio. So we can actually see very clearly who won, who lost, and where that leaves everybody's record. So this is game 46. Again, best bets presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. You could see our best bets on the Fanatics Sportsbook app before every game. And we're going to have a special announcement coming up in probably a few weeks about a fun little thing we're going to start doing with these. So we went 2 for 3, which I feel like we've done a lot this year. Oh, stop it, Andrew. Andrew, congratulations. You won tonight. Took the under on Jalen Brunson, 37.5 points, rebounds, assists. It's funny. He got the under because and just barely, it was 35. So he did go under the 37.5, but he thought this was going to be a blowout. I think that was his thinking. I don't want to speak for him, but I think that was his thinking. It was not a blowout, but he still got the under. And then Sean takes the easiest money that exists in the NBA this year, which is Mitchell Robinson over 9.5 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson, 13 rebounds. He's a monster. The only losing bet we had was Jeff, still 15-11 on the year, though, so that's okay. And that was Shamet over 6.5 points. Shamet played 17 minutes, only took 3 shots and only made 1. Did not take a single 3. I got to think. I can't imagine there have been many times where Landry Shamet played over 15 minutes in a game this year and did not attempt a 3. So a little bit of bad luck there from Jeff. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And those are our best bets presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. All righty. Let's see what we got to talk about today. I feel bad. There's a lot of negativity for a win, but I'm just, what can I tell you? I'm a little frustrated. Drew P. Mitch will make a correct switch. No one else sees. He is the best defensive player on the team right now. That was OG Anunoby's title, and I'm not even sure it was close to start the year. Mitchell Robinson has taken that belt, and he's kind of running with it. Which is funny because for a while, the defensive on-offs with Mitch this season were not great. They were not great. I'm gonna actually check because I just out of curiosity. Tonight with Mitchell Robinson on the floor, the Knicks had a with Mitch on the floor, the Knicks had a 75 defensive rating with Mitch on the floor. With Mitchell Robinson off the floor tonight, the Knicks had a 111.6 defensive rating. You think he's important to your defense? Yeah. I would say so. Thanks, Drew, for starting us off. Norman Jean King, why a 7-man rotation into a big stretch? Well, they didn't have a 7-man rotation tonight. They had an 8-man rotation tonight. I mean, 9 if you count Yabu. I'm not even counting Yabu. But Mitch, Shamet, and McBride. It's a big difference. 8-man, 7-man rotation. So I don't know if I'm missing your point there, Norman. Let me know. Frank Miranda. Oh, Frank. What could Frank possibly want to talk about? Let me really tap in to my predictive abilities. What could it be? What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. Cat is playing with the passion of a man who does not want to get traded to a place where mac and cheese is served a la carte. That's good. Good stretch in the fourth by Cat. I mean, look, what are the theories? I'm serious. What are the theories? Because I got a lot of them. Cat's 30. He just turned 30. Big men, I got something coming out for Knicks Film School Patreon tomorrow morning. I think I'm going to post it about how, the aging curve for big men, like, lest we forget. And it's funny, I did the piece with an eye on Giannis, but it could apply to Cat as well. It doesn't always go well once you pass 30. So is his age? Is it his role in the offense? Is it he's not mentally right? And because he is a player that seems to very much depend on being mentally right in order to perform, he can't perform. Is that it? What else is it? Is it lineups? Is it they don't have a true point guard out there with him, that he needs a campaign or or a Tyler Kolek to be effective. Like, all of these are valid theories. And what are we going to, so I guess the frustrating part is that we're sitting here 46 games into this year, and I don't know which one of those it is. Does anyone out there have a clue as to which one of those is the correct answer? I don't. So if I don't know, I mean, maybe the coaching staff knows. Maybe his teammates think they do. Who the hell knows? So if we don't know the answer, then it's a matter of, all right, well, how do we go? How do we go about fixing something where we don't know what the problem is? And can it be fixed? And oh, by the way, the trade deadline's 10 days away. This is concerning, for a team that is trying to make the finals. This is concerning, albeit one that is on a 50-win pace, I should say. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate you, man. Good seeing you last night. Austin, what's going on, Austin? Cat could be way more disciplined on drives, but I do think he gets a bad whistle. I'll get back to that in a second. I would love to see Brown get on the refs more and send in tape to the league like Tibbs used to do for Brunson. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Remember, he's getting fouled. Remember that? That was fun. Look, I'm gonna try to choose my words carefully here because I know there's a lot of people who A, agree with you, and B, I don't think NBA refereeing is so abhorrent that for me, I can't sit here and be like, no, he's not getting fouled, because who the hell knows what a foul is anymore? I will just say that he has been officiated the same way his entire career. So do we think the collective body of NBA referees simply does not like Karl Anthony Towns? I'm not being facetious. So he is averaging, I'm going to go per 36. So per 36, he's getting right now 7.3 free throw attempts per 36 minutes. You know what his previous career high was? 6.9. He is averaging this season a career high 7.3 free throw attempts per 36 minutes. His career per 36 minute free throw number is 5.7. So that means he is averaging almost a free throw and a half more per 36 minutes than he has previously in his career. And it's actually more than that because this made his career average go up. His career number in Minnesota was 5.5. So, I don't know what do you do with that? He's going to the line more than he ever has. For the life of me, I cannot watch a player go down the lane like he does, like a drunken baby giraffe, and flip and flap and flop with the arms and all the limbs and the whole thing, and he does not invite contact in the way that refs call it. I don't know how else to say it other than to say, go out there and watch any big man that consistently gets foul calls. Forget any big man. Go out there and watch any player that consistently gets foul calls. And I promise you, you won't see anyone driving down the lane like he does, period, because nobody drives like him, which is, I guess that's kind of the issue. But I don't know. He does not strike me as these calls that he doesn't get. I don't feel like he should be getting those calls, but that's me. And it's obviously an opinion that I might be, in the minority on. So, I don't know what to tell you. Thanks, Austin. Mr. Fabro, I'll never slander Cat because he's just a solid human being. He's a great human being. None of this is about Cat the human being. He's a good dude, right? Good guy. I appreciate what he had to say about what's going on in Minnesota on Twitter. Nice man. He's a nice man. But anyway, the rest of your comment. But it may now truly be time to part ways. Well, look. One, easier said than done. You know, I saw Sam Quinn had a tweet on Twitter, a tweet on X earlier today. Proposed like a Pelicans trade, and he said it in the tweet where he's like, both teams are going to hate this. And I saw a couple people quote tweeted it like, nah, no way, this and that. And my response to him, and I don't know if he responded yet. I should have checked, but is like, why would the Pelicans do this? I think that they were giving up Herb Jones, Jordan Poole, and Kevon Looney. So Jordan Poole's terrible money, like bad contract. Herb Jones, a guy they really seem to like down there, but he can't shoot. Shot 31% or less, I think, in 4 of his 5 seasons. And then Kevon Looney, who might be done as an NBA player. So, again, you're not getting – Herb Jones is one of the best defenders in the league, but, again, if you're bringing him – so I don't think the Knicks would say yes to that trade, to be very clear. But why are the Pelicans doing that? They have Derek Queen. They have Zion. They have Misi, who apparently they can't even find minutes for because they're trying to trade him. So now you're going to, bring in Cat and move Zion to the 3? So, I don't know. That doesn't really work. I think if Cat goes out in a trade, it's going to be as part of a Giannis thing, and you're not – he is going to be – he's going to be outgoing salary. I don't know what else to tell you. Which is a really tough way to operate. I was thinking the team that I had in my back pocket with Towns for the last week or however long it's been since Popper had that initial report was the Hornets. And then I listened to Zach Lowe's pod today, and he's talking about how the Hornets front office and ownership are being extremely patient. They're not going to make some crazy win now move. And Zach knows what he's talking about. So I'm like, oh, well, scratch them off. It's going to take a desperate team. It's going to take a desperate team to actually want him and think that they could make it work in their system. Are there desperate teams out there? Sure. There's always desperate basketball teams. Orlando might be desperate. But I don't know. The notion of trying to find a trade right now, unless there's some very, very heavy fingers on the scale, I'm having a tough time with it. So, thanks, Mr. Fabro. Anthony Sixto. What's going on, Anthony? 2 small moments. First half, Deuce at the 3-point line. Had 2 defenders scrambling to close out on the line. Then drove and pulled a third. Mitch battling for the rebound with 1 minute left, up 15. Yeah, those guys make smart plays left and right. It's awesome to watch. It's awesome to watch those 2 play basketball. They are... Again, the 2 longest tenured Knicks, and I think if you ask a lot of Knicks fans right now, who are your favorite players on the team other than Jalen Brunson, I bet you a lot of people would say either Deuce McBride or Mitchell Robinson, as they should. Just winning plays left and right, supreme effort. Here, you know what? Here, well, I'm looking stuff up. Again, this is not going to include tonight, but I will look up what are the Knicks this year when Deuce and Mitch are on the floor together. I'm curious. I'm going to look it up in a sec, but let's go to the next super chat. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you. Paul McFarlane, what's going on, Paul? Turning point for me. Bridges miss up 7. Russ cuts it to 4. Bridges, with no hesitation, nails a 3 to go up 7. We need him to shoot with confidence. So, man, Bridges is such a funky guy. So tonight he was 8 of 13 from the field, scored 18 points, good stat line, 2 of 3 from deep, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, plus 14. So good job by you. Yeah, they need him to not only shoot with confidence, they need him to be confident. They need him to be a confident player in every respect. They need him to defend with confidence. They need him to shoot with confidence. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little, the whole Holiday thing, and bringing in Holiday to try to get Giannis, and the picks go to Milwaukee, and you send Bridges to Portland. Like, I'm not. It's not like I'm like head over heels for Bridges after he's been here for a year and a half. I think on balance, I've been more frustrated by him than most, and I have been frustrated with him more than I have been thrilled with him. That would be a little bittersweet. There is a big part of me that believes that he's a part of a solution to a good team, and I just, look, I'm going to sound like a Bridges apologist, but I think the situation here has not been as ideal for him as it maybe could have been, but he's also part of that. Again, as we always say, players have agency. Okay. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. Kevin Danishevsky. Speaking of Mikal Bridges fans, I think he's still a Mikal Bridges fan. Yeah, I've seen enough. Give Cat the Trae Young fake MCL injury and start that lineup. So that lineup, obviously, referring to Brunson, Bridges, OG, Deuce, and Mitch. Which again, I'll pull up the stats right now. Give me a sec. 3-point shooters and Mitch gobbles. Brunson plus 4 all defense guys equals a good formula. You're not, again, you could bench Hart. There's no universe where they bench Karl Anthony Towns. I'm trying to think of like what would happen if they announce a starting lineup and they're like, yeah, Cat's coming off the bench tonight. I can't even, it's not going to happen. So it's like, it's a matter of how much do you stagger. Okay, I got the numbers here. You ready for this? Mitchell Robinson with Deuce McBride this season. And again, this cleaning the glass, probably not inclusive of tonight. 514 possessions. So probably about 250 minutes, 300 minutes, something like that. Plus 15.6. 126.8 offensive rating. Pretty good. 98th percentile. 111.3 defensive rating. 83rd percentile. Now, Jalen Brunson is on the floor for, I'm looking right now, a lot of these lineups, but not all of them. He's on the floor for a lot of these lineups. And then if you're wondering specifically about the lineup with McBride, Robinson, Anunoby, Bridges, and Brunson going into tonight, and again, you could argue those have been the next 5 best players this season. Again, taking everything into consideration. Coming into tonight, only 43 possessions together. All y'all people who gave Tibbs all that shit for only, 83 possessions with Deuce plus the starters? Keep the energy high, okay? That's all I ask. Keep the energy high. Because this lineup, again, Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Anunoby, Robinson, only 43 possessions coming into tonight. I'm pretty sure this is before tonight. And they're plus 21.1. Crazy offense, crazy defense. It's world beaters. But the thing that I want to emphasize is you look at the top lineups with all of the top lineups with these guys. All the different combinations are good. You got Brunson, McBride, Hart, Bridges, Robinson. It's killing. Brunson, McBride, Shamet, and Anunoby, Robinson. Killing it. Brunson, McBride, Hart, and Anunoby, Robinson. Killing it. Now, again, these are all small sample sizes. Even Towns is out there. This is McBride as the freaking point guard with Shamet, Bridges, Towns, and Robinson. That lineup's doing great. So, it really is for me. Don't stop it with the starting five and inject some life and verve into it. And what is Mitch good for? What is Deuce good for? Verve, life. But you can't operate as a basketball team if you cannot wait to get your starting five off the court, which gives credence to what you're saying. Start this lineup. I just don't think they could do it. I don't think I'm. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let's do the stat of the night. Jonah's Nito's stat of the night, which is plus 21.1. So that is, as I just said, the lineup of Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Anunoby, and Mitchell Robinson. 43 possessions before tonight. 99th percentile overall, 99th percentile offense, 90th percentile defense. 5 highest plus minuses on the team. And they won the final 7 minutes of the game, 21-11. It's an awesome group. Great stat, Jonah. All righty. Let's keep it going. It's been a fun one so far. We got a lot of different things. J-Rock, what's going on, J-Rock? Woo! Much more fun to watch this team with low expectations. Our comfort zone. Maybe they're a contending team, but we're not made to be contending fans. I don't know, man. I would like to think that we know how to be fans of a contending team. Now, that doesn't go for everybody. When the team was playing like a contender earlier this year, every time they had a loss, you thought the sky was falling. And that's actually how a lot of contending fans act. But I don't know. You know a contending team when you see it. They haven't really played like it for a while. I thought they have looked like it in stretches. They look like a contending team in the third quarter and for parts of even the fourth quarter against Philly. They look like a contending team in the last 5 minutes tonight. You know? They look like a contending team against Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn, but still. They look like a contending team then. It's just not often enough for my liking. Maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe I want too much. But that's me. Thanks, J-Rock. Appreciate you, man. And another one from J-Rock. I can't help it. I love this team as much as Clyde loves naming when anything happens in front of either team's bench. I love the team too. I don't know. Well, I mean, I love the Knicks. I don't know that I love this particular version of the team because there have been teams that I have loved of recent vintage. And this team frustrates me in too many of the same ways regularly, you know, for me to really fall in love with them. I would love to love the team like I did a couple years ago. Hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened since the big trades. Maybe it'll happen again. We'll see. Thanks, J-Rock. Chris Carter, what's going on, man? Slightly more encouraged after that fourth quarter, but a competent team would have had us in a deficit. Mitch forever. Competent team would have had us in a deficit. I said it after the last Kings postgame or during the last Kings postgame. I will say it again. You cannot emphasize enough how bad this Kings team is and how bad this Kings organization is. They are an absolute, total, and complete dumpster fire. Totally a dumpster fire. And oh, by the way, They didn't even have Zach LaVine or Malik Monk tonight. And I know those guys are not like ideal perfect players, but they it made them easier to guard tonight. I will tell you that much. That's for sure. They maybe got a little more defense on the floor, but it made them easier to guard. So, they got to pick it up. The Knicks have to pick it up, and they know that, and I will be fascinated to see how they come out of the gate tomorrow in Toronto. They got to go get on a plane tonight, and they're going to get to bed late. It's going to be one of those. And the Raptors, what do? They run you the hell up and down the floor. And you know who's going to be waiting, licking his chops for this matchup tomorrow? Give you one guess. Guy who used to be a fan favorite here for a lot of years. So the starting five better be ready tomorrow night. Otherwise, they're gonna feel it. Thanks, Chris. Jeff Guitars, what's going on, man? How you doing? I like the picture there. The vibes are immaculate. I don't know about immaculate. They're okay. I was so annoyed by that game. I couldn't even enjoy the fourth quarter. We need a name for the 23-24 team, like the We Here team, because that might have been the peak of the JB era. Funny, I literally did not even know this comment was coming before I just said what I said. A name for that team? Man. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think of them as like the Never Say Die Knicks. I don't know. Mike Myers. I don't know. I've used that comp before. I don't know. Like, is it the Born to Play Basketball Knicks? Taking one from their captain. The Super Friends. Because those guys. That's the other thing. Those guys were so close. Like that was such a close knit. That was such a close knit locker room. Those guys really liked each other. Hardenstein, DiVincenzo, Hart, Brunson, like those guys really liked each other. So Kev is saying metal bats. Sure, why not? Let's call it. Let's go with that. Yeah, if anybody can think of a good name, tell me. I'm terrible at this stuff. Thanks, Jeff. Austin with another one. By the way, Trade Cat, that closing lineup was nice. Again, easier said than done. If I had a good trade for you, I'd give it to you. I don't see one team that's going to be banging down the door for Towns. I hope I'm wrong. Thanks, Austin. Stevens, what's going on? Stevens Gamma, how you doing, man? This game gave me a headache. Solid win. That makes 3 in a row. When's the last time they won 3 games in a row? Actually, maybe that's a good question. The Knicks last won 3 in a row. I guess around the cup, right? Yeah. Oh no, they won 3 in a row. Cleveland, Atlanta, New Orleans, and then they lost the freaking game that set this thing flying off the rails in San Antonio. Let's hope the same thing doesn't happen again, shall we? What an interesting... This is so funny. So their last... Hold on. 14. Their last 17 games are a mirror image of each other. It's like if you fold the paper in half, and it's like... So, win. So 3 wins, 4 losses. Win, loss, win. 4 losses, 3 wins. Maybe the season is just going to play out in the opposite now of how the beginning of the season started, which would mean tomorrow will be a loss, then a win, then a loss, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight wins. We'll see. We'll see how long that keeps up. Thanks, Stevens. Jibo, what's going on, Jibo? I'm actually going to give Cat some love. Listen, he needs it because he sure as hell isn't getting it from me. Played aggressively and hit big shots, leading the league in rebounds, averaging 21 and 12 in a bad season. Look, he hit a big three at the start of the fourth. He then missed, I think, 3 or 4 consecutive shots after that. Played aggressively. At what point does that stop becoming a good thing? I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I'm being serious because I would much rather him. If you're asking me the list of adjectives that I like, and trust me, I know the history. I know there were big games in Minnesota where the accusation was he would disappear. It's like you wouldn't even know he was on the court. And so that if you're contrasting against that, it's like, oh, aggressive is good. Aggressive is not in my top. I don't even think it's in my top 3 adjectives that I want him to display, especially because aggressive is not always good. You know what adjectives I'd like for him to display? Patient. I'd like him to display patience. I'd like him to display smarts. Play smartly. That's the adjective. Smartly. So smartly, patiently, and let me give you one more. I mean, this is on defense, but engaged. If he went out there every night and he was smart and he was patient and he was engaged, congratulations. We're looking at one of the 15 best players in basketball, and we don't have to have any of these conversations, whether he hits shots or not. Aggressive can go both ways. And then as far as leading the league in rebounds, I'm not going to say I don't care about it. He's been okay. He's been good on the defensive glass. He can, like, he got had a couple times tonight, so he is not always the most engaged. Again, there's that word again, boxer outer, when it comes to the glass, but he's a very good rebounder. So look, he's probably going to make an all-star team. I don't know if I'd pick him. I really need to go through it one more time, and that says a lot. On a down year, he could still make an all-star team, albeit in the East. That says something. Thanks, Chibo. Oscar, what's going on, man? 17 turnovers, 21, but who's counting? Kolek as the second unit ball handler is needed. Listen, if Kolek didn't get a shot in the second half of this game, when they had a billion turnovers, 18 turnovers before the fourth quarter, I think he's just on the outs, and I think it's just a matter of what's the trade. And I gotta think the front office, if they needed more evidence to say we got to go get a Jose Alvarado, I think they got that evidence tonight. Which let me pull up Grand Theft Alvarado's. What are his turnover rates for his career? So this season it's actually kind of high. He's a 14% turnover rate. Now that's not nearly as high as Kolek, who last I checked was hovering around 17%. But for his career, Alvarado's been good with turnovers. Last year, 12.2%. That's 66th percentile for point guards. The year before that, 9.1%. That's very low. That was 77th percentile for point guards. So generally pretty good. Not turning the ball over, which is what you want. We'll see. Maybe he's the answer. Thanks, Oscar. Robert W. Cross. Hello, Robert. How are you? It's good to hear from you. It was good to DM you the last couple of days. Missed you at the town hall last night. I hope you're well. I don't think I have anything else to say. Anyway, okay, here we go. First time, long time. It's your boy, John. What do we got here? Hold on. Your daily reminder that Money Mitch will be in the rafters of the Mecca someday. I hope so. That would make me very happy. That would make me very happy. And it would be the unlikeliest story, really, truly one of the unlikeliest stories in Knicks history. I will never forget. I've mentioned this on the pod a few times. I will mention it again. And he's a friend of the show, not only because Andrew Claudio produces his podcast, but because he is just great at what he does. But I'll never forget listening to, I think it was a pre-draft episode of Sam Vecini, Game Theory Pod, when he was talking about, or maybe it was post-draft, whatever it was, talking about Mitch and talking about like guy that really needs a nurturing environment. Otherwise, his career is going to go sideways. And he was like, you know what he doesn't need? He doesn't need to go to the Knicks. He needs to go to like a real good, solid organization. And here's the thing. It pissed me off at the time. Sam wasn't wrong. Sam was dead on. The Knicks were a disaster at that time. And so the fact that that the organization at that time managed to shepherd him well enough at the outset until Leon and Tibbs and everybody got here and they really could wrap their, arms around him and the whole thing. It's just a really cool thing. And, if you're really thinking long-term about Mitchell Robinson and like his place in Knicks history or however you want to say it, I think, look, is he going to be in the rafters someday? That's such a high bar, especially for this franchise. But like, look, he's second all time in blocks in franchise history. He's never going to catch Patrick. Patrick has him by like a factor of 4. But he's I always say he's played a lot of years, but games played not as many. 370 games played after tonight for the Knicks. Here are the next couple guys that he has to pass: Ray Felix, Anthony Mason, Ray Williams. He should pass all these guys this year. And then Marvin Webster, Lewis Orr. Can he pass Melo this year? He can't pass Melo this year. He doesn't have enough games to. But if he's on the team next year, he'll pass Melo. He'll play more games in a Knick uniform than Carmelo Anthony. So that would be something. And if he ever, if he was here for like another couple of years, and like there haven't been that many people that have played more than 500 games for in Knick uniforms. 20. That's it. Just 20. So, yeah. Thanks, Robert. Okay. Take Mob General. What's going on, man? And this is why any trades involving Mitch or OG are non-starters for me. I don't know if I'd include OG in that for tonight. He was pretty rough. But you need him defensively. I don't think there's any question about it. I don't have faith that this team could defend at an appropriate enough at an apt level if you removed OG Anunoby. So I understand where you're coming from there. I'm not sure I've always felt that way, but I think if you're looking at it fairly, it's a good point. Man, Denver hanging around with Detroit after they got smoked out of the gate in this game. Dom Cappuccini, what's going on, Dom? The best thing that could come out of this win is if Mitch is still able to play tomorrow, without question. It's why it was first thing I said out of the gate. Healthy Mitch gives me a slither of hope to the season. Oh, and the defensive rating might climb closer to 15th. Let's see what the Knicks defensive rating is, shall we? Why not? I don't know if it's going to be updated yet, but we could look. I know that stuff matters to you. Well, their offensive rating definitely fell tonight. So they're still third in offense, although barely ahead of the Rockets now. It's crazy. The Celtics are now 2 full points per 100 possessions better than the Knicks for the best offense in basketball, or the second best offense in basketball. And the Nuggets are not that far. They're not that far behind the Nuggets. The Celtics may have the best offense in basketball by like the time Jokic comes back. They probably will. Actually, they probably will by tomorrow morning. What am I saying? The Nuggets right now, they have 97 points with 2 minutes left in the game. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning. The Celtics going to have the best offense in basketball. It's insane. Joe Mazzulla, coach of the year. The Knicks right now, 16th in defense, 0.2 points per 100 possessions behind both the Orlando Magic and the Memphis Grizzlies. Not coach of the year, Jamal Mosley. You want to put Jamal Mosley on the hot seat? His offense is 0.2 points per 100 possessions better than Knicks. Or defense, excuse me. That is not where the Magic want to be. I can promise you that. Thanks, Tom. Oh, we got our defensive player of the year pick, or defensive player of the game pick. Guess who it is? Again, it is our buddy Mitch. So does this, I think this ties him with OG for the most this year. Yeah, this ties him with OG for the most this year. How does OG feel about that? Is he smile? Is he even in the picture? I don't see OG in the picture. Maybe OG's upset that he got tied. We'll see. I don't know. No, I'm sure. You know what the great thing about Mitch? Here's my favorite thing about Mitch. He's an amazing basketball player. Everybody loves Mitch. You don't got to worry about one issue in the locker room with Mitchell Robinson because everybody loves him and he likes everybody else. He's just Mitch. He's just Mitch being Mitch. And that's why he's great. Love Mitchell Robinson. Okay. Let us take. Ooh, good. I'm hungry, so I get to eat now. What should we do? You know what? I'm going to do a coffee. I only had one cup of coffee, and it was much earlier today. So I'm going to have a iced coffee flavored Yule. What are we here to talk about? We're here to talk about Yule, the high-protein starter kit. So again, if you are someone that has seen me drink Yule on the pod, heard me talk about Yule before, have toyed around with the idea of Yule, here's the thing. It really comes down to three things for me. One, I'm 42 years old, and I am consistently finding it harder and harder to A, stay in shape, and B, just feel healthy. So I know if I'm putting something in my body that is good for me and is not bad for me, it's a positive. So that's one thing where you'll get you because it's a bunch of protein, 35 grams in the black edition ready to drink. The black edition powder has a bunch of protein as well. And then 27 vitamins and minerals, only 6 grams of fiber. This whole thing, 400 calories. So it's healthy for you. 2, it's convenient for times like this where we did early dinner tonight because my daughter had acro. So we sat down to eat, I think at 5:30. And so it's, what is it? It's 10 after 11. I'm starving. I'm going to pop this thing open and it's going to be a hell of a lot healthier for me than me heating up, the pizza that's in the fridge. And then the last thing is it's really affordable. So you can get 20% off of your order if you use our code. And again, this is off of the full high protein starter kit. 20% off. Use code KFS. You go to HUEL.com. That is Yule, HUEL.com/KFS. It is new customers only. I'm telling you, if you've been thinking about doing it, if you even want to just try one kit and test it out, you're going to love it because it's not that expensive. It tastes great. And again, it's good for you. So when you're someone like me, that matters a lot. All right. Shout out to you. That's very good. Okay. Next up. Oh, we're doing yeah, here we go. Okay. We'll do the watch party later. Flatulente. Me likey no cat minutes to close games. Like I likey. Am I actually gonna read this? The farts. I'm not gonna read all the hashtags, but should I read them all? Kev, what do you think? Read them all? Okay. This is what it's funny too, because Mark, shout out to Mark Roskus, who produces when Kev's not producing. He sent me a lovely comment that someone had left. Thank you to whoever left the comment, or multiple comments, about how, really insightful, commentary, and they appreciate the way I see the team and all of those sorts of things. And now you get to hear this: hashtag fart, hashtag bar, hashtag sorry for making you say this, Macri, hashtag fart, then fart again, hashtag haha, hashtag cat equals no farts. It's particularly amusing because my youngest daughter is now all about fart jokes. She's going to turn 5 in a month. And every other joke is about a fart. And she also announces when she something that we are trying to implore her to do less. If she heard me read this super chat, I don't think that would help. So there you go. Jason, what's going on, Jason? Cat and Brunson don't work. That's a tough go. We know the defensive issues. The offense is not close to what it should be. Non-cat lineups remind me of the 23-24 team. I mean, we've been checking a lot of lineup stuff tonight, so we might as well check something else. So Brunson. So let's do Brunson on, Cat off. These lineups were not great earlier in the year, I just want to say. So I have no idea what this is going to reveal. Well, things are trending in the different direction. Brunson on, Cat off, plus 5.3 points per 100 possessions. That's in 1,200 possessions, so big sample size. The offense is insane. 126.1 points per 100 possessions. The defense is stinky. 120.9 per 100. Now, why is the defense so stinky? Effective field goal percentage of opponents is pretty good. It's good. It's not great. It's good. They're about average in turnovers. They're fouling a bunch. So that's the thing. The non-Brunson, or excuse me, the non-Cat lineups, they foul the hell out of the ball. And here's the most surprising thing. They're not good on the defensive glass. Now, I say that's surprising, and it's going to sound like I'm ignorant of the fact that Cat is a good defensive rebounder. He is a good defensive rebounder. Again, he's not perfect, but he's good. But Mitchell Robinson is good on the defensive glass. And they have other good rebounders. So, I'm sorry, but Cat should not have that much of an impact on the defensive glass to the point where they are the non-Cat lineups with Brunson on the floor are giving up a 31 offensive rebound rate to their opponents. That is way too high. Now, let me see if I can. No, I can't. You can't date sort this. The Cleaning Glass doesn't allow you to do that. So I can't date sort this. I would guess, and again, I remember looking at the Brunson lineups with no Cat earlier this year, and it felt like they were about even. I'm going to guess that over the last month and change, maybe month and a half, whatever, I bet you these are a lot better than plus 5.3. That's all I'm going to say. Thanks, Jason. OG team. What's going on, OG team? I genuinely can't tell you what's so different from the shots Cat's getting under Tibbs versus Mike Brown. Can you enlighten me, Macri? No, thanks. No, I can't. Sorry, I don't mean to. I guess I should give you your $5 back, OG team. I can't. Look, I read Steph Bondy had an article that came out, the bonus post thing that he does, and he talked to an NBA coach, and he also talked to a scout for the article, and he got some good stuff. It's stuff that we've been talking about. I remember we had it in our text thread a month ago. A little bit less post ups, a little bit fewer drives. The thing that I did not know until I saw it in Bondi's article, and credit to Steph for getting this, they're running him off of fewer off-ball screens than they did last year. So all of these things. But if you look at the numbers, and again, I would encourage everybody go subscribe to the whatever it is, the Post Plus, so you can read all Bondi's content. But like the numbers are not like crazy different. It's like a little bit less in each of these different categories. To me, that should not explain, or excuse me, that does not explain why Karl Anthony Towns is shooting as poorly as he has this season. Like, again, I'm just his points per shot attempt coming into tonight 121.0. Last year 127.2. And the only reason it's as high as it is because he's getting to the line a lot. He shot, this is, to me, you want to know what the two numbers are that like leap off the page way more than his 3-point percentage? With 36%. 36% isn't great, but like, okay, it's not like he went from 42% to 29%. 36% is fine from three. You'd like a little bit more volume, but 36% is fine. Karl Anthony Towns is shooting 59% at the rim. 59%. He shot 67% at the rim last year. On over 500 attempts. He, coming into tonight, was at 59% on 267 attempts. Last year, 45% from floater range on almost 300 attempts. This year, 40% from floater range on over 100 attempts. I mean, he's not making long twos at all, but he didn't really make it long two. But even look at like long twos. 4 years ago in Minnesota, he hit more than half of his long twos. Since then, 37%, 33% last year, 27% this year. Like, he's a 38% shooter from mid-range. That's bad. Like, I'm sorry, like the touch, the ability to finish through contact. Like, you're not sitting here and telling me that he shot 67% last year because he was getting tons of open dunks off of cuts and offensive rebounds and whatnot. No. He had to finish through physicality last year. He had a lot of tough finishes last year that he made, a lot of them. It ain't happening this year. And I'm not saying it's not partially schematic based. It is absolutely partially schematic based. But to go from a 58.6 effective field goal percentage to a 52.7, this is a guy who had a 60 effective field goal percentage earlier in his career. He just hasn't been good enough. It's not. It is what it is. I don't know what else to tell you. Thanks, OG. Nito Rahino. Did I see that stat graphic right? Defensive rating while Mitch is on the court would rank 4th in the league. Has Mitch been a top 3 Knick this year? Would it be 4th in the league? It's funny because their defense not too long ago was better when he was off the court. What is it now? I'm pulling up the on-offs right now. This is NBA.com, so this is not cleaning the glass. Mitch on the floor, 111.8. Yeah, that sounds like it would rank 4th. Yeah, it would rank 4th in the league, just ahead of the Warriors, not far behind the Spurs. But hold on, wait a sec on that one because it's 111.8 now. I want to know if I just go to the last 15 games. The last 15 games of which Mitchell Robinson has played. Hold on. $11. So Mitchell Robinson has played 11 of the last 15 games. In those 11 games, the defensive rating with him on the court, 106.3. And when he's off the court, again, in those 11 games that he has played out of the last 15, when he's off the court, defensive rating 119.6. I kind of want to go back even further. I kind of want to go back to we'll go back to the Cup. Let's go back to December 16th. So the last one I'm going to do. So this is now the last, how many games? Because this is kind of when their defense started to fall. So this is now the last 21 games. Of which Mitchell Robinson has played 15. So it's a little bit higher. 109.5 on 118.5 off. So what does that tell you? And again, the numbers that I haven't given you, but you can imply from the overall number. Mitchell Robinson started off the year defensively. It was not great. They were better on defense with him off the floor than when he was on. That was the case for the first 20, 25 games. And a lot of it was the defensive rebounding, but it wasn't all that either. So now you're seeing it trending in this direction to the point where now, yes, on the season with him on the court, they have the fourth best defense. And if you're looking at just the last 10, 11 games he's played, they would have a defense that is the second ranked defense in the league when he's on the floor. All of this is pointing to Mitchell Robinson probably needs to be out there for 25 to 30 minutes a night. That's what all of this points to. As long as he keeps playing like this. Thanks, Nitorino. Stan Van Poopy. Great name. I could hear Clyde chuckle when Westbrook took threes. Listen, Russ has had a wonderful career. He's never been my cup of tea. I'm happy he gets to get his numbers one last time for a team that, no one, it's fine. Let him get his numbers. Good for him. Thanks, Stan. Riyadh, what's going on, Riyadh? LOL, the McDonald's analogy. I have my moments. What can I tell you? I don't even know if McDonald's has mayonnaise. Maybe not mayonnaise packets. They have the mayonnaise in the dispenser. I haven't been to McDonald's in a while. I don't think I've eaten fast food other than when I have my daughter's leftover Wendy's nuggets. I haven't had a proper fast food meal in months. That makes me very upset. But hey, listen, I got Yule, so I don't need fast food. Hush Zoo, what's going on, Hush? Mitch is playing out of his mind lately. I know we give Josh the glue guy moniker, but honestly, it might be Mitch. This guy is like flex tape for us. Yeah, I mean, Josh might be like the heart of the team. His play, he has not had a galvanizing effect on this starting five. He's doing a lot of boneheaded shit. That turnover look, OG had 7 turnovers. They turned it over a bunch. That turnover where he jumped in the air in the backcourt like a buffoon, which is why, to all the people out there who don't have any patience or time for Josh Hart when he gets in front of a microphone and talks about we need to do this and we need to do that. And then when he's specific about Cat needs to do this. Cat needs to be smarter. Cat, yada. There's a lot. If anybody out there does not have patience for that because they're like, hey, you're not exactly a portrait of perfection. And you guys know me. I love Josh Hart. But there's a little bit too much of this kind of stuff. To your point about Mitch rocks. Love Mitch. Long live Mitch. Don't trade Mitch. Resign Mitch. Thanks, Hush. Jason with another one. John, who do you loathe more, Cat or Randall? Oh, that's not nice. That's not. The only Nick I've ever loathed is Enes Kanter. He's the only Knick I will ever loathe. Hated every minute of the Enes Kanter experience. I wish him nothing but the worst. It is. I think it was more frustrating watching. On balance, it was more the Randall experience was more frustrating because I think I don't know. The decision making I think was more of a factor there. Not to say that Carl does not make some inexplicable decisions, he does. And believe it or not, I think when Randall was not displaying the effort, there are times when Cat's not exactly going out there and giving it everything on the defensive end. Obviously, we know that. But Clyde called him out tonight for could you imagine for the second time against the same freaking team, he's in the backcourt and doesn't get back and it's 5-on-4? Come on. But for as much as we lament Cat's effort, there were times where Julius's effort was it was worse. That said, this is the Cat experience as a whole is more upsetting because he is supposed to be the guy that put us over the edge or put us over the top. He's actually putting me over the edge. He was supposed to be the guy that put us over the top. So it's been tough. And you know, I find it very challenging to be still in on the Cat experience. I'll just say that. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, Kev, that's fine. So quick reminder, watch party coming up. Yeah, you got that right. Knicks Pistons, Friday, February 6th. So what is that? A week and the day after the trade deadline, which is awesome. Who knows who will be on the team or who won't be on the team then. It is at Penn 6, which is right down the block from MSG, 31st Street. Free admission. You don't got to pay a dime to get in. Shout out to Sophie Dash. She's helping us promote this, which is awesome. There will be, of course, food, drink specials, giveaways, all great stuff. And it's a big freaking game. It's the game of the year. Knicks Pistons, you know. Obviously, we hope the Knicks could keep winning. It would be really freaking cool if they could like bring a winning streak into that game. But yeah, it's a big game. So come out, watch the Knicks with your boys. Who knows? Maybe I'll even make an appearance. You never know. Crazier things have happened. All right. And on that, no, let's finish up. Anthony Sixto, what's going on, Anthony? By the way, John, forgot to thank you for the crypto tip. Yes. How could I forget? I got my Twitter account back. Very happy about that. Thank you to the powers that be that helped me out with that. I'll just leave it at that. It worked. I have a Lambo now. This super chat is my last $5, but I have a Lambo. Hashtag MacCoin. Never owned any crypto. Don't want to own any crypto. Wouldn't know what to do with crypto. Wouldn't know where to obtain crypto. I think my wife, when we were first married, on her brother's advice, put like $100 in. What the fuck was it? Dogecoin, I think it was called. Is that a thing? Yeah, I don't think we're. I want to know where that $100 is now. Thanks, Anthony. Danishevsky, Cat equals returning to competition recondition. Hi, Lori. I'm watching Lori right now. Close game between the Jazz and the Clippers. Nah, man. Look, they need him. They need him to play better. They need him to get right. They need him to be some semblance of the Karl Anthony Towns that we saw during last year's regular season. And we got, a couple times in the playoffs. They need a version of that guy. He's not existing right now. And they got to get him back. So I don't know how they get him back. I don't know. Thanks, Kev. Kevin with another one. Look at freaking Mitchell Robinson. Yes. Mike Brown. We love Mitch. Hold on. Can we do one more stat check? Just because I'm curious. So let's see. Per 36 minutes, offensive rebounds per 36 minutes. Mitchell Robinson, first in the league. 9 offensive rebounds per 36 minutes. Second, Clint Capella, 7.4 offensive rebounds per 36 minutes. And you know what? Just for good measure, I want to see one more thing, because because there's a lot. We're praising Mitchell Robinson here, right? This is a Mitchell Robinson praise session. I think I said this earlier in the year. I'll say it again. So the record for offensive rebounds per 36 minutes in a single season, as coming into this year, was Steven Adams. It was last year, 7.53 per 36 minutes. Mitchell Robinson is currently obliterating that record to the point where the gap between Mitch and the next best offensive rebounding per minute season of all time is the same as the difference between the second best per minute offensive rebounding season of all time and the 24th best offensive rebounding season per minute of all time. He is offensive rebounding unlike anybody has in the history of the sport. Insane stuff. We done, Kev? We're done. All right. Well, you know what? This post game cheered me up a lot. I started off on a little bit of a negative tilt, and I'm feeling great. You know why? Because I got to talk about Mitchell Robinson. I love Mitchell Robinson. So I don't know what the Knicks are going to do about their lineups or about their most expensive player or about any of that stuff. But hey, we got Mitch. So all is right in the world, as well as a third straight win. You got to love that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this post game. If you dig what we do here at Knicks Film School, please help support the show in any way you can. Obviously, by subscribing on YouTube, turning on those alerts, leaving us a generous 5-star rating or a kind review wherever you get your pods. Follow us on social media at Knicks Film School, SKOOL, wherever you get your socials. And then, yes, of course, bonus content. I did not say anything about the other great piece of Patreon content we had come out in the last few days, but DJ Zulo had a fantastic breakdown of the Knicks third quarter performance against the Philadelphia 76ers. If you love Mitchell Robinson and you want to see and have it explained in a way that is like not only easy to understand, but like really gets into the nitty gritty, go subscribe to the Knicks Film School Patreon, the Brunson tier, and check out that film session by DJ Zulo, which is spectacular. In addition to Benji's grade book, which is great, that just came out. I mentioned before, I got a piece dropping for the KFS Patreon tomorrow. Got another mailbag coming. So lots of great bonus content there. Of course, the Knicks Film School newsletter on Substack. Shout out to all my people in the stack. And I think that's it. I will see y'all tomorrow night on the second night of back-to-back. In the meantime, have a good day. And shout out to Kev on the ones and twos. And that's it. All right. Take care. Peace.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See the Fanatics Sportsbook app.